This is the all-new 2019 Hyundai Veloster, but it's wearing a special badge. And this is it right here. It's the N-Line badge, and that is Hyundai's new performance brand. Now, the N actually has two different meanings, Namyang and Nürburgring. Namyang is the R&D facility where they did all the design work on the vehicle, and the Nürburgring is one of the most famous racetracks in the world where they tested the vehicle. Over the next 5 days, we're gonna break it down for you, and we're gonna tell you what makes this vehicle one you might want to consider putting in your garage. The year was 1985, and that's when Hyundai first launched their brand here in the United States. Now, in 1986, they took the automotive industry by storm because they sold 168,000 units here in North America. Now, with the Veloster N, this is the first time they're bringing the performance package to market. So when we talk about turbocharging technology, there have been attempts with it, with the Hyundai brand, but this one really takes it to the next level. And how did they get there? Well, they used the World Rally Championship to kind of gauge how they wanted to build this vehicle. And if you just look at it purely aesthetically from the side, you can tell that they've done things to really pull in a performance-minded enthusiast. So you've got the larger wheels, you've got a closed-in gap, and it's lower to the ground. You'll get the suspension needs that you want with this vehicle. What they did is they tried to bring a vehicle to market that is going to appeal to a younger audience, and they're going to do that with this all-new vehicle. There you go, day one for the Hyundai Veloster N. All right, so day two is all about a little bit of education. What do I mean by education? Well, if you're looking for a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, a performance-based vehicle, you're going to think about technology like rev-matching that comes with vehicles that are incredibly expensive. Well, the N-Line with the Veloster actually has rev-matching technology built into it for a vehicle that's about $30,000. What is rev-matching? It's actually when you take the vehicle and you have the ability to downshift to keep the gears smooth when transitioning, so there's not a lot of load on the vehicle, and it makes it on the track so that you can accelerate out of turns more efficiently. Now, when we talk about the rev-matching, that's something that's going to come on this N-Line edition. Not to mention active exhaust, so you can completely open up the exhaust on the track and make the vehicle sound incredible. Now, you want to talk about some other cool tech features that come with it as well. Just to activate the N-Line, it's based on the steering wheel, so you just hit the button and it automatically puts it into a sport mode, or as we want to call it, a track-based mode. So it's going to make for a fun driving experience. Now, the suspension also has been tuned with this vehicle. So the vehicle will electronically control the suspension. So when you're at high speed on the track, it's going to adjust in milliseconds to tighten things up to give you better performance and handling while either on the road or on the track. Kind of like the magazine. All right, that's it for day number two. All right, day number three, two things. Quirky fun facts about the Hyundai Veloster. Here we go. First little kind of quirky, interesting fun fact about the Veloster, and this is just on all Velosters. The driver's side door is actually longer than the passenger side door. So if you look through, you can see that the door is actually up further. Now, this becomes a tremendous blind spot. So what did they do? They integrated into it a secondary mirror here so that you can see that blind spot. So you actually can see the vehicles and you can see the blind spot. All right, a couple other cool fun facts. Spoiler is up mounted on the rear. And guess what? It's actually a functional spoiler because this vehicle is asymmetrical. What do I mean by asymmetrical? Well, it's actually got 4 doors, one of those being the hatch on the rear, and of course you're missing the door on this side. As we make our way around to show you that other door, I want to just point out you've got a functional air dam on the front that helps keep the vehicle planted on the ground, and it actually flows, and just stay with me, it flows from the front down the side and then through these 2 holes on this side to create downforce for the vehicle combined with that rear spoiler. All right, now we make our way around to the other kind of cool, quirky feature. Passenger side door, passenger second rear door. Now, this will seat 5 people. The 2 in the front are gonna be adults. The 2 in the rear, as I mentioned about quirkiness, they're probably gonna be small children because as you can see, me at 6'3", I kinda well, you know what? I kind of do fit in the back, except for the fact that my head is kind of rubbing against the top. So some really cool features. The exterior design being asymmetrical is cool. I actually like the design of the exterior because it comes functional with a couple different doors. And then as we close it out, we've got the rear hatch. My favorite feature on this. More automakers need to do this, and they do a good job hiding the button to open up the rear. But with this, just a little push button right under the windshield gives you perfect access to the rear of the vehicle. There you have it. Quirky fun facts, a little bit on the exterior from a performance standpoint for day number 3. Day number 4, N-line badge on the key. All right, we're in the interior. So we're gonna talk a little bit about the interior of the N-line, and I'm gonna actually start the vehicle so we can get the 8-inch screen up here. It's touch screen. I already have it in N mode, but they allow you to customize all of your performance packages. So you can actually have a timer. You've got your G-force that it measures, the boost from your turbo, the torque, and the power. So that alone sets this vehicle apart from a technology standpoint. Now, you have similar features up on the main instrument cluster here as well. So it's obviously going to show you how many miles to empty, whether you're in gear. I put it in first gear. It immediately shows you up at the front that I went from neutral and I'm now in gear. You have your oil temp and your torque and your turbo. And then we're going to back out and give you a little bit on the steering wheel as well. Now, I really love the drive mode feature. So when you hit the drive mode feature, it will show up here and it will show up on the main. So you see it shows eco mode, which is fantastic. Normal mode kind of gives you comfortable suspension. And then if you hit it again, you can take it to an actual sport mode. So in that sport mode, adjusts everything immediately. A little stiffer suspension. You'll have a better sound from the exhaust as well. Down here, I want to show you the shifter. It has a short shifter in it, so you've got a faster throw. So it's boom, 1 into first gear, then down into second gear, then up into third gear, fourth gear. It's got 6 speeds, as you can see on here. Now, other things tech related, you've got your USB plug-in up here. You've got power outlets as well. You have Infinity sound system in here with a subwoofer, which also makes it really cool. And then I'm gonna close it out with just the look and feel. You've got performance seats that hug your body. You've got blue seat belts somewhere. Here we go, blue seat belt. So you got blue seat belt, blue stitching in the seats. So they really wanted to give you like this encapsulating feeling from a lifestyle standpoint as well. Not to mention if you buy one, they give you a matching shirt. Just kidding on the shirt. I just happened to find it in my closet and it matched. So day 4, a lot of cool features on the inside of the Veloster N. All right, here we go. Day number 5. We're going to close it out. We're behind the wheel, so it's going to be the most enjoyable of all 5 days because now we get to drive this thing and tell you what we really think about the Veloster N. So let's start with what's under the hood. You have a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged GDI motor, and it produces 275 horsepower with 260 foot-pounds of torque. When you add all of that up, it means you've got a lot of performance under the hood. Now, you mate that with the rev-match technology, which we're going to kind of show you here in a minute. Now you have a performance vehicle in the making that's ready for the track. Then combine on top of the horsepower and the turbocharger and the rev match, now you have the ability to combine in the active exhaust on the rear. Oh, and don't forget the electronic suspension. You now have the complete package if you want to autocross this vehicle. Here's my only knock, is that it is front wheel drive. So there's good and bad news to front wheel drive. One, you're going to compete with the Civic Si, front wheel drive. You're going to compete with the Volkswagen GTI because of the turbocharger, the GTI. And you're going to think about the Ford Fiesta ST as well. So those are the competitors in the segment, and they're not all running rear wheel drive. But with all the technology that's under the hood, I personally believe that having the rear-wheel drive capabilities of this vehicle will be something that makes it special. When you hit the N mode button on the steering wheel, the suspension does tighten up, and for surface streets around town, you're probably not going to want to take your kids to school in it because it's a rough ride. But what it does mean is that if you want to hit the pavement at the track and put this thing through its turns, it's going to be an incredible vehicle on the track. One of the things that I particularly like about the interior of this is that it's really comfortable for local street driving, but you have the ability with the seats to hug your body when you're going to be out there on the track. I do want to make a special shout out about the short throw on the shifter. It's very smooth. We were talking about this earlier, that shifting the gears is incredibly refined. And we're going to close it out with this. We talked about rev match in one of the first videos. So Here's what's really bitchin' about this vehicle, and yes, I'm gonna use the word bitchin'. So the rev match that you get in this vehicle for under $30,000 has the ability to allow the vehicle to match the shifting with the turbocharger to keep it spooled. So you're really keeping that power band when you're out there on the track. And even in town when you're driving the vehicle, you'll hear that active exhaust pop open. So like right now, you don't hear the active exhaust, but I just hit the N button, now you hear that active exhaust kick in on the back of the vehicle. Really cool features that make this a fun vehicle to drive, but also really about performance as well. Day number 5, closing it out with the driving personality and characteristics with a little bit of the performance under the hood as well. There you go, number 5 in the books. Wait. All right, day number 3.5, 2.0, whatever you want to call it. We want to do a quick little fun video for you on how many N-line badges there are on the Hyundai Veloster. They are so proud of this vehicle, we stopped counting at 17. So we're gonna go as fast as we can. We've got 1, stay with me, 1. Now we're gonna go over here. Floorboard is 2. The other floorboard is 3. Floor mats, 4 and 5. Steering wheel right here is 6. Shifter knob is 7. That's 7. I'm gonna start the car, put it neutral. 8 is on the instrument cluster. 9 is on the 8-inch display. You can maybe count it if you hit the N. You got another one is 10, but we'll just say we're at 9, okay? So we're at 9. Now we're gonna get out and make our way around the vehicle. 9, 10, right here on the caliper. 11 on the sexy part of the vehicle, the front grille. 12 on the other caliper, but look at this, 12. They kind of messed with us a little bit. This is gonna be a hard one for you, 12, come here. 13 on the seat. It's right here, I know, 13. We got 14 on the seat, and then just a variety of things inside the 8-inch screen right here. So I'm just gonna stop counting. We're at 15, 16. I had 17 earlier. Oh no, right here. When you hit the flags on here, it brings up another N on the screen up here. So we're at 16. You got the drive mode, it'll bring up 1. It's 17. I don't know, maybe 20? Somebody else, see if you can count them. There you go, day 3.5 with roughly 17 N logos on this Veloster N. They're proud, they're very proud.